Hello, eRank. Welcome to another live eRank Q&A with me, Pam Duthie, and her, Starla Moore. That's probably the most slick we've had in a few weeks, isn't it?
I know,
That's
it
no
just popped right up. We're still getting the strobe
I
on
have
the...
no idea why it does that. I thought if I pulled up my face first, it wouldn't strobe, but
dance party.
I'll put in this support ticket unless you all enjoy it, and then we'll leave it. I was
As long
just
as it
watching the
doesn't...
video thinking we need to get an animation of us dancing or something instead. That'd be much nicer.
Hoping nobody has like epilepsy or something.
Yeah, maybe we should do a little warning just before it. But I have no idea why it does that. Because I don't think it strobes when we were like sharing Anthony's screen or anything the other week.
Nope,
So
just the intro.
very weird.
Very weird. Is it just us or is it strobing for you guys too? Let us know. Happy Thursday. I was away last week because I was away blowing my nose. I might still have to do that a couple times. So you guys will have to excuse me if I like lean over here so you don't have to see my bugs. But happy Thursday. We're going to hang out with you guys for 1 hour and answer your questions. I actually have to be out on like 4 o'clock on the dot. So no overtime today. You guys got to stay focused.
Yeah.
They said strobing. Oh,
Yeah.
Feel free to go ahead and get some questions. We had no early bird questions in the Facebook group, so you guys, it's your responsibility to entertain us for an hour with your awesome Etsy SEO, eRank, marketing. I can help with a little bit of social media related questions, but feel free to ask us anything.
Just hit us with it, because hopefully we're just hitting the busy time. Hopefully everyone's starting to see a little pickup and have all the questions. Before we do get into the questions, I did just get a message from Anthony to say that he wants everyone to know that he is aware of the having to log in multiple times a day thing. I know it's been mentioned a few times. Looking into it, and hopefully should be fixed in the next 24 hours. That was just the message that I got, which I know it'll be a relief. So.
All right, let's see. Oh, there we go. I'm like cycling through on my tabs. Where's the chat? Did we have any other news? Do we have any? I mean, aside from, I'm sure you guys talked last week about our October data. I'm seeing lots of good new trends in the October data, stuff that's like popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah, it has been huge. Jan's blog just came up on the October data, if you guys want to check it out. I was going to say the video just came up, but the only reason it's in front of mine was because I just recorded it. It actually needs edited, so no. But Jan's video on the trends, and I believe that Amazon trends in the blog is up as well, so it's really worth checking them out. There's been a load of interesting keywords pop up, like Starla says. Some of them powered by Etsy, but they're still things people are clicking on and buying from. So, and the other thing that we didn't talk about that's brand new is the Spotted on Etsy update.
Yes, I haven't had a chance to even play with it.
Oh, poor Star. I don't know how we managed to do this, but I was sick, and then I managed to pass it on to Starla. Even though
over the ocean.
Yeah, we're not this close actually in real life. I think most of the team has been down with one thing or another in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them what's new and show me what's new, since I haven't been here? We can learn together, guys, and then we'll get to
oh, sure. I'll see if
Sally's comments.
Should I even try and bring up a screenshot and do all the clever stuff?
I have faith in you.
I don't. Okay. Sing and dance while I log into everything and make sure there's nothing rude on my screen. Not that there would be. Right.
You can do it. We believe.
I know it's far easier to share the screens when it was Anthony's. I don't know why it's harder with me. Right.
Well, while you're pulling it up, I could probably handle Kirsty's comment real quick. She had said, what's the best way to find an alternative keyword for a product that's no longer generating traffic? I used to get found for a specific keyword, but no one seems to be searching anymore. I would break down that product into, the core of what it is at its most base level, type that term into the keyword tool and see what other related terms pop up, and see if you can try to find some terms that are closely related to what you sell, but that might be, more search, because it just sounds like maybe you had found a really good trend, but maybe now that specific set of keywords just isn't trending with customers anymore. So that's what I would do.
Yep. Anthony actually covered something like this last week on the live as well. It's worth looking at. And one fun thing we've got in the eRanks tool is the listing helper, our little AI thing. If you type in a whole load of details about your listing, that churns out, it gives you some title ideas, description ideas, but it also gives some tag ideas with our keyword stats that we've already got. So it's an AI. It's not perfect, but you see the stats next to it, so you can see what's a good thing. But yeah, so the spotted on Etsy, for everyone who hasn't spotted it, this went live last week. So under shop, spotted on Etsy, if you remember, this was one of my favorite tools for quite a while, but it got a bit unwieldy. So we all sort of sat down and put our heads together and actually did a good, I think, but let me know what you all think. So instead of, what was it? It was like about 5 tabs, wasn't it, Starla, I think? And
Yeah.
it was sort of 2 tools of spotted on Etsy and Monitor that were the same but different. But so now it's just one page and everything's in it. So if you haven't used spotted on Etsy before, in this top bar, just checking you can actually see it, yeah, put in at least one keyword to sort of get it started. That's anything you want to monitor. I actually just 2 days ago changed some tags on some of my listings, aiming for some new keywords. So I popped them into this, so I'm able to come in and see what I'm ranking for. So once you do that, it's going to start looking up once a day for you.
Yeah.
And if, as a bonus, if your Google Analytics is set up, so you can see here it says spotted by, I've connected my Google Analytics to eRank. So this is actual real data. I had at 2 o'clock this afternoon, a person from Germany searched for, not going to try and speak German, searched for that, and wow, they searched through 18 pages
That's
of the
great.
Etsy search. Wow. So you get a look. So this is all similar to what we had, but it's all in the one page. So we've got the eRank monitor, which is our system searching once a day to see where you rank in the Etsy API, and also the Google Analytics data. But we've added everything. If you remember, the monitor tool had the one graph that had an absolute metric ton of spaghetti. Uh, it was great, but there was too much there. So now we've put by every single keyword for each listing where you've been ranking over the past 14 days as a little graph there, so you can see each one individually. You can also see the search trend for that keyword, which is so helpful. And as always, the page and the position you were seen on and at the time. So oh, and yeah, nearly forgot. And you can also pick out yesterday, past 7 days, or past 14 days. So I think that's an absolute ton of data all in one place. But yeah, we need some feedback from you guys of what you all think of that. I think the team did an amazing job really pulling all
Yeah.
that together.
And the reason that we've made these changes is because we noticed pretty much every week we would come on here to Q&A, and Pam and I would have questions from you guys about Spotted on Etsy, and not understanding how to use it or what it meant, or and we realized, okay, this tool might be a little hard to use. So we sat down with Anthony and said, how can we consolidate it? So this is just more example of why it's great for you guys to speak up if you don't understand how something works, or if you want to see something changed, because this was a direct result of us, hearing your voices and trying to make this easier. And they did it very quickly. I mean, it's only been what, like, I think last month we had the meeting where we brought it up to him?
I
And
think so. Yeah, it was super quick.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's it. We just sat down, we're like that, don't like that, bring that together, and I think we've walked away from it going, "How did that become one page?"
so
Yeah.
be sure to let us know what you guys think when you have a little bit of time to play with it. But hopefully, it's a lot more understandable now. I really, ooh, big face. I really like the graphs, the actual like rank graphs.
It's so much easier to see, like, before you'd have to hover over, and quite a lot of them were very close to each other, so it's like, "Which one's that? Who's that?" So it is so much easier to see, definitely works way better for me, but we need your feedback, basically. I don't think I've not seen howls of protest, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, nobody's complained yet, so
Exactly, that's always good, so but
awesome.
yeah, let us know, and as Starla says, it's the feedback from you that myself and Starla can sort of see maybe what the struggles are that people have, and also when we're playing around with stuff like, that didn't do what I thought. So if you bring us all the feedback and all the complaints, then hopefully we can figure out ways to make it easier for all of us.
Yeah. And Sally, I'll get to your question in just a minute. I don't want you to think that we're skipping you. But Jennifer had asked, in relation to the tool that we just showed, if it says page one, then what does that really mean? Since there's a different page one for everyone. Basically, what you guys are seeing, I like to think of it as the naked rank. So what you're seeing on Etsy, if you're shopping on Etsy and you find your product on page one, you're seeing a personalized set of results based on what Etsy has identified that they think that you like. And assuming that you're poking around your own shop probably quite a bit, Etsy's going to think, oh, they really like this shop. And they're going to probably show you more of your own items, which can give you a false sense of security if you think that you're doing really, really good. And in reality, Etsy's just identifying that you're spending time in your shop or similar shops, with maybe some competitors that you've been looking at. So everybody's search is personalized to that person. However, that personalization is placed on top of what I would consider to be that naked rank. Think of the personalization as the clothes that go on top of it. But the naked rank, that's where you would be ranking the average position of your listings before that layer of personalization is applied. And what we do at eRank is we have access to, Etsy's actual API data. We're pulling that directly from Etsy. That's one of the great things that, that they actually let us have as developers. And we are just showing you where on average you would show on a search page for the average shopper before the personalization is applied. Now, a lot of people in the past, there's some YouTube videos out there that are like, oh, the rank checker doesn't work. It's inaccurate. Well, no, it's only inaccurate if you use it incorrectly, because what you can learn from looking at that average position is which listings need more attention. If before personalization is applied, you are ranking all the way back on page, 30 or something, for example, well, you're probably not optimizing that listing for that specific keyword to the best of your abilities, or you are competing in a niche that is very, very competitive and you're way behind. What I use the rank checker for is to identify which listings need work. If there's a superstar keyword that I really want to be known for, I can see which listings not to touch, because on average, the average shopper will see it high in search if it's, one, page two, page three. I know that those aren't the listings I need to be touching. If I see some listings way back on, far search pages, then those are the listings that I know, okay, if I'm selling a silver necklace and I'm way the heck back here for silver necklace, maybe I need to play around with these keywords a little bit, or maybe I need to target some more long tail keywords, or, maybe I'm just in a niche that's way too competitive right now, and maybe I need to find something that's a little bit more unique about my product that I can use for a keyword. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing I think of, because it's where you're ranking before personalization, It's what Etsy thinks of your listing before it personalizes it. It's saying how good your SEO is, how good your shop quality score is compared to everything else that's aiming for that keyword. So yeah, if you're showing up on page 1 or 2, you've done great. And basically, it is super helpful. But I think like any tool and any data, you have to understand what it's saying. So super good question that we should probably we explain a lot, but we should probably explain quite more often.
All right, so we're going to backtrack. Sally, I hope you're still here. She had asked, can you remind us if there's a way to see how much a particular listing is bringing in per month? So how much money a particular listing is bringing in? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, let us know. If it's money wise, we don't have. Oh, no, we
Or is it
do.
traffic?
Yeah, let us know which one. I was going to say we don't have access to that, but we do with the. What's the tool called? Give me a minute. I'll go and have a look. The sales report.
Yeah.
Rank. I'd forgot about that one. Oh, I can't really show you that one just now because that has like customer personal data on it. Yeah, I was going to pull that up and no,
Yeah,
that's the one I have to show edited. Yeah,
money,
but
she said, yeah.
yeah, money. So quite a lot of the time, that's going to be something you want to go into your Etsy stats for. But on eRank, we do have the sales report tool, which does show you basically your sales. You can sort it by time and stuff. It is a little helpful. I'd forgot about that tool there. Yeah.
And Heather had said, I see it in the Etsy stats area on each listing. Yeah, I thought that we could also see that data from Etsy directly.
Yeah. We absolutely should be able to see it in your Etsy dashboard. I can't remember at the moment. November, my brain is never doing great, and I think Stella's overdone everything as well. So
Oh my God, yeah. It's been crazy. But yes, it is in your on Etsy as well. But we also have it on eRank if you're already working within eRank, and you wanted to see it. Okay. Brooke had asked, what is the best way to find t-shirt design ideas that will sell well on Etsy using eRank? So a big mistake that I think, it's not really a mistake, but I think that what a lot of people do is they head into our monthly trend report, which is great for finding ideas. And that in our monthly trend report, we have a POD section as well. Whether you do POD or not, there's still a t-shirt category, and you can go through that t-shirt category. Now, one issue with that is that a lot of the things that people are searching for, you can't make because they are terms that you can't use due to copyright and trademark. You can't touch those terms. Just because Taylor Swift shirts are being searched for on Etsy and they're showing as trending, you still can't sell them because it's illegal. However, what I've found to be the best way to find good ideas for things like shirts is to not limit yourself to just looking at trending shirts. I like to use the example of when when the House of the Dragon Game of Thrones came out. You can't use anything related to Game of Thrones. It'll get you in trouble. However, dragons in general were quite trendy. And you could see that in the paper and party supplies category. Dragons were trendy. Dungeons and Dragons was trendy. Again, not terms that you can directly use, but it stands to reason that if Dungeons and Dragons is trendy and House of the Dragon is trendy, then maybe dragons in general are trendy. So if Father's Day is coming up, maybe you make a cool shirt that says, Dragon Dad, and you've got like a cool dragon on it. It really boils down to looking at things a little bit more abstractly rather than just gravitating towards, specifically searching for, t-shirt designs, trending t-shirts. Because here's the thing, if there was a collective list of all of the trending t-shirt designs, every person who makes shirts would be staring down that list of ideas and everybody would make the exact same thing. What I recommend doing, as opposed to, that sticking, I'm sure all of the POD sellers are in that POD shirts category trying to find a golden nugget, is to get creative and start looking at some of the other categories and start typing in some random terms. I also recommend, when I went school shopping with my daughter, Pam, we talked about this, I think a couple weeks ago. I noticed, like, everywhere that we went, there were capybaras, which, if you don't know what capybara is, it's just a big giant guinea pig. Capybara designs all over the place at all the like trendy, stores. And I searched capybara at the time in eRank, not really that many searches on Etsy. I've been keeping an eye on it though, because I keep seeing capybara merchandise in stores, and I keep getting ads from, different businesses that also make products with capybaras. And last month, October, capybara is starting to kind of take off over, uh, in the eRank keyword tool. So be mindful of the things that you're seeing in stores, because the more that these things are popping up in stores, the more that trickle over is also going to come to Etsy. And you got to think, for the people who are creating the capybara merchandise right now, like as that trend is on the rise, they're the ones that are going to see success with that, not when, 10,000 other sellers have already listed their capybara products. So be really mindful of the types of things that you're seeing. And another good place to look, check out the Christmas ornaments section when you go to the store. Most stores now will have, like, they've got their normal like bulbs and things, but I know here, at least, there's crazy Christmas ornaments. Like right now, I'm seeing like little aliens and all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, aliens have been really trendy lately because of the whole like 90s. I remember being a teenager and black lights and aliens, and so I'm seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, the other thing that I was totally expecting Starla to say, because this is more in her wheelhouse, but think of your niche.
Yes.
Like, t-shirt design isn't a niche. I know a lot of people say, oh, they're print on demand, but it's much better if you can focus down and think, who is it you're making your items for? Like, is it for cute kids things? Is it for, the reason I said Starla is she's just opened a shop, and are you a print on demand shop? No, her items might be print on demand, but it's a bookish thing. She is based on books. And if you're in that kind of more of a deep niche of something that you really enjoy, that thousands of other people also enjoy, you know what's just about to happen. Your finger's on the pulse to say, oh, is a new book just about to be released? Is something going to be made into a TV show or something? So the same if you were totally into like some kind of cosplay thing or Renaissance fairs, or, what's the big event coming up? What are these trends that you know about because you're physically in that niche, is way better than just to say, I make t-shirts, I make all t-shirts, to find who's the person you're making t-shirts for. And then you can find that niche. You can spot that capybara before everybody else spots it.
Yeah. And that sometimes you see a trend in stores and you look in eRank and the searches are really, really bad on Etsy, but that's because they're about to take off. You got to do a little bit of that predictive analysis. So for example, in our shop, we officially license with authors, which is how we're able to create merchandise based on their books. Otherwise, they could sue you. So don't run and do what I'm doing without, getting your contracts. But what we do is we will specifically, right now we're looking at authors who are in the works of like TV adaptations and movie adaptations, because if we can get rights to create, we'll say, a line of products for a book series that's going to be a movie in the next year or two, then that means that we get grandfathered in. So when that book turns into a movie, we're one of the very few who is officially licensed to create merchandise, not only for the book, but for the movie. And just imagine if we were able to do that back when Harry Potter and Hunger Games and all the really, really good ones came out. But yeah, it's all about staying ahead and doing your research and making sure that you know your niche. Because if I knew nothing about books and I didn't read any books, I wouldn't know what authors to follow. I wouldn't know what books are hot. I wouldn't know what books are about to turn into movies. This is something that I'm already interested in and I'm already invested in it personally. So make sure when you're selecting a niche, you're not just chasing money, because often the sellers who just chase money, they don't really see success. And what I always say is that money is like a cat. If you chase a cat, it's just going to run away from you. But if you sit down and you do what you love and you're calm and you're happy and you're enjoying yourself, that cat will come to you and sit on your lap. That money will naturally come to you if you have knowledge about your niche, if you are excited and you're creating products with passion. Don't just look for the hottest trend. Obviously, trends are important, but a niche is the thing that really, really matters. And I have people, argue that point all the time. But there's a reason that Printify hires me to come talk to their audience about niching. Otherwise, they would be telling you to create everything. Niche shops, if you go into the top sellers report on eRank, almost every single seller of all of the top 100 most successful shops on Etsy, they've all got a niche other than, like the supply shops that sell beads or something. But even then, beads, I guess, is their niche. There's no shops in the top 100 most successful Etsy shops that, sell everything.
Yeah. And if you're properly into that kind of niche, you have a ready built community already.
Yeah.
You're already in that community. You're probably in all the right groups and forums and everything. And even if you think any of the fairs or places you go to, the people in the stalls that are selling the things look like the people they're selling the things to. They're part of that community, and people are more likely to buy off of somebody in the community. That's the good way to get the know, like, trust out there. It's like, hey, I've seen Starla in these forums talking excitedly about this book launch or something, and now 5 years down the line of us knowing and loving Starla, she's releasing t-shirts. Fantastic, let's buy off of Starla.
Yeah, and I did that right when we launched. We were officially licensed for A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is like one of the most popular fantasy books in the world right now. I got in a group that I was already a member of for this book series and just posted like a thank you guys for encouraging us to do this. We got officially licensed. Thanks for everybody who answered our questions. Here's our collection. Here's where you can buy it. And it wasn't a weird salesy thing. I was already a member of that community, being able to talk about something that I was proud of, genuinely proud of, not just, oh, here's the stuff that I sell. There's something really powerful about having purpose in your brand and making sure that you're really passionate about what you do.
Yeah,
But
that's the best type of marketing, and most people wouldn't even see it as marketing because
yeah,
it's doing what you love, but it's the stuff that works the best. Because if you just go and you say, "Oh, well, Starla's done well in this niche, I'm gonna join this niche," join all the groups, go, "Hey, love my products, here, click my link." People will block you before you've even got 5 links down, you'll be blocked.
yeah. All right, Elizabeth, you had said, does Pinterest keywords work? Yes, keywords for any platform work. You have to remember what keywords are for. They're for an algorithm for whatever platform you're talking about. Every platform that has a search bar where you can type something in, hit search, and it gives you a page of results. Every page that has one of those search bars has an algorithm that is typically going to categorize the results page based on relevant keywords that are attached to those results. So in the case of Pinterest, that is going to be keywords that you utilize in your pin title, your pin description. I believe, I might be wrong, please don't quote me on this, but I believe that the name of your board might also help. I could be wrong.
I've heard, but not directly from Pinterest.
Yeah. So really the areas that you want to optimize for are that pin title and that pin description.
And
Um,
tags in pinned videos as well?
Yes. And if I believe that you can only do that if you are posting directly from Pinterest themselves or scheduling internally within Pinterest, but I don't believe that that's a feature that any external schedulers
Um,
have. That's one of the
that's why
downsides of using
people say
external.
there's an advantage to pinning directly on Pinterest. There
Yeah,
definitely is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, and she'd said on eRank for a Pinterest search function. Yeah, so that's the gist of it. If we misunderstood the question, though, feel
I
free to.
think I'm just seeing the second bit. She's saying she keeps saying, sorry, we couldn't find a keyword to match your search request, which generally we see that when you're searching for something that's just too niche and there's just no keyword research. So broaden out. The best way with the keyword tool is to aim for a pretty broad keyword, like whatever you're looking for, start with the big thing like rings or t-shirts or something, and then narrow down opal ring, start from the top and work down. If you go too niche, then yeah, there might not be enough data for us to show anything. If you are going proper broad and you're not seeing anything, hit the help button on the bottom right hand side of eRank and let the team know. But definitely you should be seeing some data on the broad terms.
Yeah, just go as basic and simple. Even if you're searching for the most beautiful elaborate ring and you want to, put all the details, maybe just start with ring and see what results you get, and then you can always narrow and refine that search down. But start broad and then narrow your way down to find some good keywords. All right. Neil from Revival Diamonds. We're in the lab grown diamond jewelry. What are the best ways to get more views to our store or product page? SEO. Making sure that you're using keywords that are relevant to what you sell that shoppers are also searching for. There are three kinds of traffic, assuming that you're selling on Etsy. If not, let us know. But there are three forms of traffic on Etsy. There's going to be internal, which is your SEO, right? That's keywords that you're using in your tags and titles in order to match the types of searches that customers are typically typing into their search bar with what you're selling. So that's what we do at eRank. If that's what you need help with, then definitely look at our keyword tool. So internal traffic. Then there's external traffic. So that's what you're doing off of Etsy. That's your social media marketing. That's, if you've got a YouTube channel showing people how your lab grown diamonds are made, if you've got a TikTok account, if you've got any type of ads running anywhere aside from Etsy, I'm talking about like external ads. That's your external traffic. And then there's direct, and that's going to be things like email marketing, for example, if you have an email list. So those are three awesome ways to get views to your store or product page. I would recommend starting with Etsy SEO though. So yes, we do use keywords. That's your first step, but keep in mind that it's a constant process of making sure that you're keeping track of the terms that you're using, making sure that they are still being searched. Etsy SEO isn't a set it and forget it thing. If it was, people would still be searching for face masks, which were the top product there for a whole year during COVID, and now nobody's searching for them. So just make sure that you're keeping on an eye on those terms. If you feel fairly confident about the keywords that you are currently using, or if you're still giving them time to run their run their course, then that's the time when you might want to look into those external forms of traffic as well. That way, you've got double traffic coming in.
Yeah, again with jewelry especially, again, what's your niche? Your niche isn't lab-grown diamonds. It's jewelry is, people say it's too saturated. It's not too saturated, but find the people you're wanting to sell to and make sure your shop's completely on brand for that. So something like a really difficult one to get into, but something like the wedding market for diamonds, you would have to be, in general, you'd be wanting your shop to be beautiful quality photographs. Your social media would be wanting to reflect that kind of thing. Whereas if you're aiming for a slightly different thing, what do these people want to see it's like? So make sure that your shop really speaks to the people you want it to speak to. It's super important in jewelry. If you think of like jewelry stores, if I go into, I was just watching a thing on Swarovski last night, and I was thinking about when you go into that store, and if that's something you like, you stand in that store for an hour going, wow, wow, wow. And that's the kind of thing you want to think of the person that you're trying to sell that jewelry to. So they'll come into your store and they'll click on 20 items going, wow, wow. And I assume, I don't know much about jewelry, but I assume diamonds are still pretty expensive. So everything in your shop has to be on point. Probably with high-end jewelry, unless you're a fantastic photographer, I'd maybe look at paying a photography student or something to take some awesome pictures. You know, go the extra mile. It's not just getting the keywords that other people that are selling diamonds are looking at. It's making your shop be the best shop for whatever you're aiming for.
Yeah. And I can tell you from experience, my husband had been looking to upgrade my uh, engagement ring. And I mean, it did take us forever to find a ring that wasn't drop shipped. It was like a 2 month Etsy exploration, because 90% of the products that we saw were not, um, from small sellers. They were from major distributors. So if you are creating your products yourself, make sure that you make that very evident, because as somebody who valued the idea of buying a ring from a handmade shop, and the fact that we could not find that, we were looking for clues, evidence, any sign from the seller that they were doing what they said that they were doing. And 90% of them, we did reverse image searches and found, the original wholesale distributors for what they were selling. So if you are legitimately making them by hand, make sure that you make that very, very clear in your listings, because right now, I dare say that the actual competition levels for genuinely handmade engagement rings, it's not very high, because we looked through thousands of shops and could hardly find any. So you could be filling a huge gap in the marketplace.
Yeah, I think that's the same for anybody if you're making your own things.
Yes.
And even like you guys, they're saying, oh, I'm print on demand or something. If you're designing your own designs, show us. Take films of you designing your designs, because for about the past year, in our trend buzz, we're seeing a lot of searches with the word handmade. People are like, okay, I've come to Etsy, but I want an actual handmade thing. So show the human bit in it. Doesn't have to be your face. It's not easy going on camera and stuff, but like if you're designing something or creating something, top down of your hands creating the thing, doesn't even have to be an amazing video. Like people would prefer to see a slightly janky video that you're making the thing than, like Starla saying, sit and worry and go, is this coming from AliExpress? Do I really want my wedding ring to come from AliExpress, kind of thing? And you did get a gorgeous ring. I saw the picture.
Oh God, I cried. It was it
No.
was from an actual handmade seller. We were very, very happy to have found them. I need to get the shop name. Mark doesn't.
Yeah.
He hasn't told me where, who specifically, because I'm assuming he doesn't want me to go looking through their shop. But
But it so makes a difference. I remember years ago, I was buying a pendant for a friend and I wanted to get it off of Etsy. And he put in the description the exact process. It was the lost wax method. He put how it was all done. He showed pictures of the wax carving that he'd made and everything. And I printed all of that out and put it in her package. And she sat there on her wedding day and read out the whole process of how the guy had been inspired to make it and everything.
yeah, that's so nice. I just bought some sun catchers for Mark's grandma on Etsy from a Ukrainian shop, and there was a little card about, thank you for supporting our business. And with all the conflicts and things going on over there, I thought, wow, that is really, really nice. And it actually, to me, increases like the connection that this gift is going to have with his grandmother, who, you know, has been following this because we're over in the US, you know, we have to follow it on the news. And that little card, just that little insert, is going to make that gift even more special, because it's not just going to be a cool sun catcher. It is a cool handmade sun catcher from a Ukrainian seller with a little hand signed card. So that's, to me, is super special. Now with POD, I understand I'm POD. We can't do that. How I'm kind of, you know, I'm kind of countering that in our shop is that it does get expensive, but when possible, I buy a sample of each of my items. I try to buy one of each item. I think there's only a few items in my shop that I have not personally purchased. But I have purchased items that are printed on the same material so that I can verify that the actual raw item is good. And I take all my own photos of me in the items. If it's a sweatshirt, then I take a photo of me wearing the sweatshirt, or if it's one of our blankets, it's me sitting, you know, cuddled up, reading a book in the blanket. And that helps my shoppers to see, wow, you know, this is the store owner, and look, there's her face in all the pictures. And it makes you stand out because you're not just using the same mock-ups that everybody else is. It's expensive, but it's also a tax write-off. So I mean, it is here. Is that how it works over there, Pam? I don't know how it works over there.
Yeah, it would be a business expense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also with that thing, I was just remembering two examples. I think it was in the eRank group a few months ago. Someone had got their design printed on a mug from two different print-on-demand companies, and the amount of detail in each one was completely different. So, you know, if it's your shop and you're wanting to build up a good livelihood, it would be good to know how good quality you're actually getting. It very varies. And yeah, someone else just yesterday, it wasn't in the eRank group, but I saw they were getting a complaint from a customer because they'd ordered something that had like a black print on it. When they got it, it came with a purple print because it just didn't print so well. And it's good to know the fabric that you've got, the colors that you've sent through to them, their printing method, how do they all go together? So yeah, that is a really big deal.
Yeah, and just one of each. You know, if you're releasing sweatshirts and you're releasing 10 different sweatshirts, just order one so that you know how that exact, you know, garment is going to look. We ordered through Printify. We did a Gildan with printed by Swift POD. It was absolutely awful. And then we did one from it was Cotton Heritage, printed by, oh God, not Awkward Styles. I can't remember offhand. But it was phenomenal. It was beautiful, vibrant, amazing texture, a nice heavyweight, you know, sweatshirt. And if I would have put that Gildan in my shop and a customer would have ordered that product, I would have been embarrassed because the print was so bad. Same print, same color sweatshirt, just different brand, different print supplier. Sometimes you have to do that. And it sucks, but imagine how much worse it's going to suck if it's the customer letting you know that the product came and it didn't do, you know,
Exactly. When
it was
it's your
messed up.
first sale. And that's not on the print on demand company, I mean, they should have some quality control there. But the designs you've created, like, we're not all experts in printing, and depending on what software you're using and what colors you're sending and everything, it can all be totally different. So yeah, it's definitely a big deal.
Yeah. I recommend if you use Printify specifically, join the Printify POD Rockstars group, and people, including myself, post reviews when they receive a product. That way, if for any reason you can't afford to buy a sample of something that you want to add to your shop, you can always just search that product name directly in the group, and all of the reviews that anybody who's ever posted. That way, you can kind of bypass if you notice that, oh, there's consistent issues with this specific print provider. You don't have to even waste your money ordering a sample. You can just bypass that one and pick better providers. So Elena had asked any tips for digital products. You've got to be a little bit more specific, because I mean, really, when it comes to listing products or optimizing them, The tips are going to be pretty universal, but we're happy to answer questions with very, very specific objectives. Tips for digital products are going to be pretty much the same for any type of product. I'll keyword optimization, making sure that you have good, clear, concise photos that explain to the customer exactly what it is that you're selling, making it very clear that your products are digital. But feel free to get a little bit more in depth. We've got about 15 minutes left. If you can think of anything specific.
Yeah, that is a big thing. I think both me and Starla have seen it. I've seen it all over the internet, is when you're given advice, people will go, but what about my exact shop? And a lot of the advice is really universal, like listen in and pick out the bits that's relevant for you. And one thing with digital products, a lot of people with digital say, oh, they can't make videos, they can't show how it's them or whatever else. I did some digital art for a while. And one thing that I just did, which was a total cheat sort of, I was on Illustrator, so you make things layer by layer. So then once it was completed, I just did a screen recording of me switching off each of the layers, flipped it round. Yeah, flipped it round, played it, and it just creates itself, and it makes quite a really cool video. Or again, just have a camera overhead when you're designing what you're designing. Those are cool. And everything else, yep, find a really cool niche.
She said she sells sewing patterns.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Sewing patterns. Yeah, it's again finding the niche, what people are looking to create. Depends if it's dresses or toys or whatever else. And I think something like sewing patterns is really cool for a blog or social media or something, because people want tips and to see you being an expert on that as well.
She asked if she can use Etsy to create email marketing. So no, Etsy doesn't have anything internally, but there is an Etsy integration. If you go into the integration section, it should be if you're on desktop, your left navigation, when you're in your actual shop manager, there should be a tab that says integrations, or it might be nested within another tab. I can't remember which one, but there should be a section called integrations. And Aweber is currently the only email marketing service I believe that integrates directly with Etsy. I personally don't use it. I'm a big fan of MailChimp, simply because MailChimp has all of its GDPR compliance built in. To me, it just feels a little bit easier to navigate. And there is a free membership up to 500 subscribers, which by the time you reach that, you should be fully prepared to pay for it, because 500 is a lot. And hopefully if you have that many, you're making sales. But with that in mind, just make sure that you're staying up to date on email list marketing laws. General data protection regulation, that's going to be applicable to the EU. So you want to make sure that you're following that. And that's why I like MailChimp, because that's all built in. But yeah, and then from there, I recommend setting up an automatic discount code. Most email clients that you use, like MailChimp, will have the option to send a welcome email right when someone subscribes. You just have to set it up and make sure that it's, that it's working by signing up for your own email list. Make sure that it goes out. But then just put something in each of your listing photos that says, want to save 15% off on your purchase. Here's a little QR code, or visit this link to join my email list. That person who's about to make that purchase sees that they can save, maybe 15% off on the thing that they already planned to buy. They're very likely to sign up just to save that money, because they're already planning to buy it. And then from there, you forever have that person on your email list. That way, if for any reason your Etsy shop were to get shut down, or maybe you launch some new product and you want to let them know, or if you ever decided to branch out and start selling on your own website, you have them all on one list. And Etsy actually has an entire article about email marketing. They are totally fine with you having your email list posted right in your listings and in your shop. So
yeah, really worth checking. But as Starla says, make sure you're good with the laws as well. That can be a dodgy one, but fairly easy to keep right on. Just people have to opt in. That's basically one of the big things that some people miss.
And have the option to opt out. So an
Yeah.
unsubscribe button, which if you're using something like MailChimp, it's automatically coded into your email. You don't even have to worry about it. As long as you don't go in there and delete the code out, then you should be good. And if you're doing any type of exporting of email contacts, just making sure that you are deleting those off of your computer. For example, if you have to download a CSV of your email list for any reason, then that needs to be deleted off of your computer, because that is somebody else's personally identifiable information that you now have in your possession. And we see it all the time where you'll get, a big thing or see a thing on the news about, oh, a lawsuit because this company leaked all this customer data. This is exactly what GDPR is for. It's to protect personal data. And in the US, we do have several states that have similar laws. I know that California has a similar law. I see it becoming pretty standard over the next few years. I think that it started with GDPR, then California did something to kind of follow suit. And I think that slowly but surely, we're probably going to start seeing more and more locations, probably more states in the US and probably more countries, because really it's a good thing, right? We don't want our data just sold and used. And I don't know about you guys, but I get like 5 spam calls a day from where somehow my phone number has been bought and sold by companies, and nobody likes that, right?
I don't answer my phone. I haven't for years. All my friends know, don't phone me.
I keep it on silent because it's annoying.
Yeah.
Do they try to call you about your car's extended warranty?
I've
Or is
no
that
idea.
just a US thing?
They try and phone about everything, but yeah, I've not answered in years, so I literally don't know what type of things. If someone wants me, they have to ping me online first, and then I'll phone them. So
Yeah.
and my friends joke that I was a millennial before millennials were a thing. How dare you phone me when there's a perfectly good text here?
Who uses phones? I thought that
Yeah.
I thought you guys still corresponded by owl.
As in the UK, you mean? Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. We've got about 5-ish minutes. If you guys have any last minute questions, we'll try to speed round them. Feel free to get those out. Um, and Brian had said videos of creating the jewelry, even if the same video for all of your listings, goes a very long way. It adds more trust to Handmade when the shopper hovers over the photo and it starts playing. And they stand out in the search page, because if your little mouse, scrolls over one in a search page, it's like your little video comes to life. I think that that's awesome.
Exactly. I've actually this week I've been playing around with videos, and it doesn't have to be hard. I'll try, because I've always got these things sitting here. I was taking pictures of this little guy, and all I did was took a picture, took a picture, took a picture, and oh look, you've got a video from just taking pictures.
Yeah, make a
And
little
it looks
slideshow.
Yeah, it looks cuter than if I'd got, like, a turntable and put him on a turntable. The whole stop motion janky animation thing just looks cuter,
It
but it's
does.
actually easier. You don't have to set up for filming or anything. You're already set up for photography, so that kinda works. But yes, handmade things, and depending on what niche and everything you're in, look at how TikTok are showcasing creating things, those quick edits and stuff. If that sounds fun to you, do that. I've done all of that as well, doing practically pile of wool, smack, oh look, it's an animal, throw some wool on top, look, it's got covered. Like, that's totally how needle felting works.
And people love that. They love watching that type of content too.
Exactly.
All right.
But
We had one question.
oh, have we
Over.
got a question? Yay.
We had one slip in at the last minute. And it's one that it's not really a question, but it's something that I have been hearing a lot as of recently. I'm running Etsy ads, but unfortunately not getting any sales. Just keep in mind that ads are not a magic solution that make an unwanted product sell. And I know that probably stings. It might not be that your product is unwanted, but your SEO also has to be good. Your photos need to be good. Just because you've put ads behind something, it does not guarantee money. So first of all, make sure that your SEO is good. Your ads are only going to be as good as your SEO is. So also make sure that your SEO is good. So you're showing up in relevant searches for those ads, right? Then make sure that your photos are awesome. Even if they look great to you, they just might not be what customers are willing to click on a search page when you're still going to be next to lots of other listings. And then also make sure that you're putting ad money behind products that are already doing well. If you've got best sellers, those are the listings you want to put that money behind, because you are gambling on the racehorse that already is known to win races. You are guaranteeing a return on your investment when you are putting money behind a listing that is already proven to do well. It's okay to gamble on listings that haven't sold before, but you have to do it with the knowledge that you are gambling when you do that. And sometimes it's fun to gamble. Sometimes it's cool to, you've got something brand new and you want to put a little bit of money behind it. That's fine. Don't bet the house on it, though. If you are losing money, or if you are putting more into ads than what you're making, it's time to scale back a little bit, put money behind those best sellers. If you don't have any best sellers, then your problem is probably bigger than, just the ads. And there might be some other things that you need to work on before you keep funneling all of your money into ads.
Yeah. One more that I don't think we talk about enough is realistic expectations. When you say not getting any sales, if we imagine you were running an Etsy ad for $1 a day and your cost per click is, say, 25 cents per click, a good conversion rate is somewhere between 2 and 5%. So that is for every 100 clicks you get on your listing, you'll maybe sell 2 or 3 things. So at that $1, it's actually going to take a lot of people. It's going to take a lot of dollars to get the one sale. So look into what is a realistic thing. I know we've probably all done this. You set up your ads and you think $1 a day, I should be getting 5 sales a day. Yeah. Just realistically doing the maths is ads isn't a magic money pit. You're likely, say if your item costs $50, an ad campaign might be pretty good if for every $30 or $40 you spend, you get one sale. That's the realistic thing of it. So if that was $1 a day, ads would give you one sale a day. Okay, one sale a week, a month, 30 days. Told you November's not good for me. Yeah, $1 a day might bring you one sale a month or something. It's I had that expectation. I thought you switched ads on and sales came, but there's a financial balance going on.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. We do appreciate it. We'll be here. Let's see, next Thursday I'll be here. But the Thursday after, Pam, I don't know if you're going to be here on Thanksgiving. We eat
If
turkeys here,
people,
and
yeah, if people want us, if we have enough people who won't be eating turkey, I think Anthony said he was also possibly turkey free. So let us know if there's enough of you about, because obviously in the UK it's not really a thing. So it seems a bit cheeky of me to take time off. So if there's enough of you that want help at that point, and couldn't, yeah, that's only 2 weeks, because that's like, I see that as the coming in for, that's the last few days before I shut my shop time. So yeah, that's a scary time.
yeah. But guys, thanks so much for hanging out. We will be here next week, same time, same place. And we hope that you have an awesome weekend.
Yep. See you guys. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.